Comment. Please sign in, state your name for the record. You do not have to give your address, if you will.
If you're warm, it's warm.
Mary Beth Cirucci. First of all, Mayor, I apologize if I yelled at you at the intergovernmental meeting.
You yelled at me a lot, if you recall.
I will say that anybody out there who knows me will definitely agree that I am a very passionate person. And I will never apologize for being passionate about our students, my kids, and the Gateway School District, and the safety of all of those there.
Nobody's going to disagree with that.
Just putting that out there. So if I hurt your feelings in any way, I do apologize.
No, you didn't hurt
for
my
that.
feelings. You made me mad because I was just trying to get a point across to you and you didn't want to hear it. I asked you, if you remember, I said I was at one of your elementary schools and I asked some of your teachers, are you comfortable with armed guards? And the first thing come out of your mouth, at the top of your voice, you scream, did you talk to every teacher? Who
I
are
remember
you
that.
to talk
I don't want to sit here and argue about the ins and outs of that meeting.
I want to make it perfectly clear. You didn't hurt my feelings. You pissed me off, to be honest.
Well, you know what I would like to say is that, through this process, there were so many things discussed tonight. If anybody has questions about the process or what we did or how much time we put into this, they can contact me, and I'd be happy, to go into all those details, because I know I only have 5 minutes. But one thing that you said tonight was that if we would have worked with you from the beginning, things would have been different, and that, you tried to work with us or we didn't work with you. And I just want to go back to early May, end of April. We had tried to set up some meetings, not at an intergovernmental meeting, but just some private discussions with maybe a couple council members. Mr. Griestock, I think I had tried to reach out to you and you, Mayor, and we weren't really getting any response. So
whenever you reached out to me, I suggested we do an intergovernmental meeting, and we eventually did.
We eventually did.
Yes.
But prior to that,
That's the best forum.
after trying to reach out to council, in my view, after trying to reach out to council a few times, I ended up sending an email because I wasn't getting a response, and I still have it. It was May 19th, and it was to all of council. It was to you, Mr. Mayor, and Mr. Little was on the email, and all of the Gateway School Board and the superintendent were on that email. And in that email, I introduced myself as the head of the security committee, and I gave you 3 options that the committee was looking at. If you want me to refresh your memory, they were setting up our school police force and eliminating SROs, setting up our school police and keeping an SRO if we could negotiate the pay to a lower level. The reason being is that we wanted to add guards into all of our schools, in particular our elementary schools, which didn't have any coverage, and we felt that our most vulnerable students should have someone there to protect them. And the third option I presented to you was to use the Home Rule Charter to actually have Monroeville set up and run a school police force. And you discussed that at a council meeting, and Mr. Ratcher advised that the Home Rule Charter was not set up for that, and you declined. So I do want the public to know that I did, and our school board did try to reach out to you and discuss other options of having you all involved in this process. So for you to say that...
Did we not reach out to you as well?
We had the intergovernmental meeting.
I mean, beside the intergovernmental meeting, Doug tried to reach out to some of your folks, and that did not happen. Doug, you want to come on up and let's get the record straight on this?
Just get Doug a chair right up.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, just let her finish.
All right, go ahead, finish.
So we talked about why we set up a school police force. A lot of people say they don't understand, and you all understand this, I think, because we've been through this, but the public might not understand that. And I have had conversations with Doug, and I have had to send him texts and emails myself also, and I agree that I have had conversations with Doug. But the cost was a factor. The SRO costs approximately $150,000, of which Monroeville pays half. We can hire retired law enforcement officers, and that is done in several counties, and we use Butler County as an example, and they have about 22 officers, retired state troopers there. We went and visited up there. Because they're retired and because they don't require medical or retirement benefits, it costs us $18 to $20 an hour. So that makes the cost to us at about $37,000 for a position. The reason we have so many is because they basically job share. So we really have 9 officers. That's just 1 for every school and 3 at the high school, which I don't think is a ridiculous amount of officers to have in our school. The reason that we had to go with a school police force for the public to understand is the only way that we could mandate our officers be retired law enforcement was to create a school police force. Otherwise, we would open up to mall security guards, Act 235 clearances, and we didn't want to do that. We wanted to make sure that we had the best qualified individuals protecting our kids as we could. So as I said to Doug, this wasn't done to step on anybody's toes. This was done to ensure that we had high-quality individuals on our staff, and that's important to us. Now, 2 of our staff are retired Monroeville officers. So we want to work with you. We want to have a team environment. I tried to explain these things at the intergovernmental meeting so that you could understand that it wasn't a personal thing, that it was about doing what I felt and what our security committee felt was in the best interest of the taxpayer and in protecting all of our schools, all of our students, our faculty at a good cost and having well-qualified individuals. I'm proud of the program that we put together, and I'm very sad to say, if anyone asked me the biggest obstacle that I had in as being part of this committee and setting up the school police force, it would have been working with council in the municipality of Monroeville.
Thank you. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'll leave it open for public